Today's 100th live stream is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. You know, America's top-rated sports booking app. Not only are they safe, but just like Deke in this fire suit, secure and reliable. And for all of my first-time users out there, because you can't get to the 100th show without having that first show. So for all the first-timers out there, if you use the promo code MOATS, you'll receive up to $1,000 in deposit bonus money. So with that being said, baby, stop wasting time. Join the celebration. Put the promo code in and get yourself an opportunity to make a little money. But Deke, as much as this is a great day, it's a celebration of us. Mm-hmm. We know at times, sometimes people celebrate a little too hard. Sometimes people don't know when to cut off. They don't know how to draw that line. And you know what? If you know someone who has a gambling problem, you know what you should do, Deke?
No.
You gotta call 1-800-GAMBLER. I say, you gotta call 1-800-GAMBLER. He's the other guy, right? In terms of, would we bring him back or do we let him leave? No, with this situation, it's a little intriguing because obviously we talked about Kendrick Green and where he could potentially be moving to, and is looking like guard is going to be the likelihood for him. Well, right now, we happen to have a couple of guards. You know what I mean? So you do have a little bit more depth, a little bit more resources behind you. And if we're talking about just the cost associated with replacing O-linemen, guards are typically cheaper and contrast or in comparison to your tackles in the center and stuff like that. So with Trai, I'm not going to lie, bro.
Am I wrong? Did we talk about this one a little bit last podcast?
We did a little bit, yes.
We did, because we were talking about his numbers. How do you feel about LeGlue and everything?
For me, what did you say then? Because see, I don't think we hit him the same way. We talked about it in conversation, but it wasn't a would we bring him back or not. I don't know why he came up though.
I thought we were gonna say, do you want Witherspoon back versus Trai?
Yeah,
like if. You could have, I mean, that would be
because that's another thing, though. I mean, it's all a part of it, though.
Back at like 7 versus Trai at 4 or something like that.
That's still gonna be a part of the conversation. Right. So why not?
No, but for Trai, I was leaning towards letting him walk.
You know why Trai came up? Because we were talking about Chooks. And we were talking about the old line and moving it around and LeGlue and his position flexibility. That's why. But we never got to why in terms of if we would re-sign Trai Turner or not. That's the thing. Yeah,
I think what it came down to was the number, because we could definitely let him walk, because the guards right now, how much do you feel like it's a drop off between Trai Turner at right guard versus then putting Dotson at right guard and then LeGlue at left guard?
Right. But that also depends on if you believe that Dotson is still the answer.
Yeah.
I know you believe that, but you believe James Pierre was the answer. You trying to give Akella Witherspoon $10 million
Dotson's
right now.
At least proven more, I think, than Pierre. I could see how you could maybe disagree.
You said it, but I'm just like, you said it like that was like he played big good. Like
I think he played good in his rookie year. I thought he played solid this year. I mean, after Trai Turner, he was probably the most solid lineman we had.
I agree, but that's still we say that like
and
that,
moving back to his natural position now too.
I get all of that. I get all of that, man. I do.
Have Green in there for the competition, for the storylines in the offseason to motivate Dotson then. Okay. Because he was the higher draft pick. You could do that. Have Deke write a little article. Kendrick Green's showing flashes.
Because you laugh. I'm serious though. Like, we could see a difference.
I don't know. I'm not in training camp like that though. You know what I mean?
Simple question. Did Kevin Dotson live up to expectations this season?
No.
That's simple. That's all I look at.
Injury's a part of it, but ultimately no.
No.
I was hoping Pro Bowl.
But with Trai, honestly, man, I'm leaning no. And it's not because of productivity. 4 or 5 million, right? To me, it depends on the dollar amount, because I do like, I guess my issue is this. The drop off from, like you talked about, Trai Turner to a LeGlue or Trai Turner to a Dotson in comparison to the $4 million or more that the price difference is. That's why I lean towards no in terms of bringing Trai back because I don't feel like the drop off outweighs the money that we could be saving or that we could be utilizing elsewhere. That's more so where I fall with Trai, because Trai is still a good player. And that's the thing. I don't want to get mixed up when we talk about bringing a guy back or why we would or would not, even though we could make a case that he's the best guard or best O-lineman, right? We can make that case for him. It's just right now, when you talk about age, when you talk about just his overall play, is his overall play worth the dollar amount? Is his overall play, like I said, $4 million better than Dotson? Is it $4 or $5 million better than LeGlue as a guard? Is it $4 or $5 million better than Kendrick Green as a guard? I know y'all gonna say yeah, so chill. But either way, I can already feel like, definitely is. But outside of him, outside of the Kendrick Green, like even BJ Finney, like, do I feel like Trai Turner as a guard is $4 or $5 million better than BJ Finney as a guard? I personally do not feel like that. I think that Trai is still a good player, but at this stage, I don't think that this is the same Pro Bowl Trai that was in Carolina. Like, this Trai is a little bit older. This Trai isn't as explosive. He doesn't move as well. He doesn't move people as well. So even though he was still a good player, when you throw all of that in there, that's the biggest reason for me why I say no.
Yeah, we're on the same page with that then. Now, him versus Kello. Is this even a comparison? I'm trying to make sense of this.
Well, in the sense, one was a proven starter, did it for 17 games, whereas one did it for 5 games.
Oh, no, here's what I was thinking, because the numbers could ultimately somewhat be equal. They can be
similar, yeah, they could.
If Akello's number is lower than we're thinking, it's at 5, and Trey's in that 4 or 5 range. That's not even a question. Bro, you bring back Akello.
Listen, even if the conversation was Akello at 8, Trai at 8, or Trai at 6, I would still rather have Akello. I think Akello is a more productive player, or I think his upside at this stage is worth a lot more to me than Trai being more so the elder statesman and stopgap, because we're not thinking of Trai as the long-term answer just based on the age and the nature of the position. So for me, when I think of Akello, I'm like, yo, you're way younger. You obviously have talent. That is there. It screams when you show it is there. So it's like, yeah, I'm with that. And that's why for me, if we're comparing what I paid Trai versus Akello and the numbers are similar, even if it's a $2 to $3 million difference, I don't mind that for Akello, because I do think Akello's impact will be felt and be better, even if it doesn't necessarily equate to cornerback 1. I think that Akello could still thrive as a number 2 corner. That's my thing. Whereas with Trai, we know with O-lineman, you're either starting or you're not out there. I don't want that for Trai when I know I could put a LeGlue, I could put a Dotson, I could put a BJ Finney, I can even put a JC Hassenauer if they want to draft a center, and I could cover that. Whereas if I don't have that Akello out there or a corner at least of his caliber, well, hey man, you know what? You can always come off the bench. You could be that third guy. You could be the 4th corner if you wanted to. And now we start talking about how your depth gets bolstered. Now you start talking about how your DB room looks that much better, which is something that, you know, we definitely could use.